Welcome to In Conversation, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh
And I am Shilpa Alimchandani.
Folks, you all know what Europe is experiencing right now. Let me tell you, Europeans have about the best perks in the world. They get 5-6 weeks of vacation. You know, ever heard? Never go to Europe in August. Everybody is left, you know. And of course, you also see that in Germany, the old people, they get these mineral baths for free when they get old. Same massage and therapies in France. I mean, they have tremendous amount of perks, which cost government a lot of money. And the last week saw for the first time, Greece came up front. They ran about $140 billion worth of deficit, more than 12% of their GDP, and the entire Europe took note. Did you see how much the euro went down?
It's really amazing.
Yes. At the time of the taping of this broadcast, euro was 1.23, the lowest it has been since, 2008. Europeans are really going to feel the heat, and they will turn around and become like Americans.
Well, who knows? It's certainly a very complicated situation in Europe with all of these countries trying to work together and under the same currency, and their budgets are not balanced. They're running these huge deficits, kind of like the U.S. if you think about it. And of course, Germany is coming out very strong, saying that we really need to hold each country accountable and limit the kind of deficit that they can run. Of course, a lot of damage has been done at this point, and the question is, where do we go from here? Because they are so interconnected.
That is very true. Germany is one country that has never run those deficits, and they are paying the price. They're actually supporting everybody because it is in their best interest. And by the way, folks, if the euro goes down, the happiest country is Germany, because they're the biggest exporters to the world. Their price comparing to the United States will go down when euro goes down. So they are happy, but at the same token, they're the ones who are bearing the responsibility and say, okay, we're going to backstop Greece, we're going to backstop Spain or Portugal or Italy or any number of the countries that are going through trouble. But Europe is in trouble.
You know, Ramesh, we talk a lot about the economy on this show, and we often say how India is still growing despite all of the turmoil that we've seen economically around the world. I saw, though, a sad article in BBC News about very, very poor villages in India where people don't have enough to eat, and, you know, children eating mud and getting sick, and, you know, very, very sad story. But what struck me about this article is that there is enough food in India to feed all of the people, but it's not getting to the right people. The distribution systems are completely broken because of corruption and a number of different things.
Infrastructure, too.
Yeah, so what you have is about 75% of the subsidized grains that are supposed to get to the poorest of the poor not getting where they need to go. That is an alarming number.
Yes, and it's going bad. It's perishable. And perishable means you got to get it there quickly, or you need to have those refrigerated trucks. Ever seen the food show called Unwrapping of some of the most American foods? Have you ever seen that?
I have.
It is just so amazing how they make it and then they ship it. In India, that shipping is a problem.
Shipping is a problem, and also the corruption between, you know, the provider and the recipient. What we're talking about now is India is debating a food security bill, which is supposed to address some of the challenges in this distribution network. It is a very daunting challenge to feed that many people, and we'll see if, you know, the growing economy that we're so proud of actually does provide for everyone, not just a few.
I think that distribution is going to be improved. You know, big companies are getting into that business now. There are a number of companies from America that have gone there. Of course, the politicians, you know, they want this to be a homegrown solution. So Ambani's and the others have come up, but there are a lot of companies like Walmart and the others want to go in and help. I mean, they have the technology, they have the experience, they can make it happen. They made it in China.
I think you're right. I think it's possible. We just need the political will to make it happen.
Moving on, folks. You know that the most glamorous job many years ago was one of the air hostess.
Not so anymore.
Not so anymore. This is what the Travel magazine says, by grappling with passenger carry-on bags, enjoying prolonged exposure to poor quality air, and ensuring cabin safety in emergencies, flight attendants have on-the-job injury rates comparable to those of miners and construction workers.
Who would have thought that?
By the way, the airlines still get so many applications for the job that they only choose 5 to 6% of the applicants.
Wow. And it's not an easy job.
It's not an easy job. In fact, some of the air hostesses are complaining that the air travel is cheap now. We're getting Greyhound bus clients. In other words, make the fares more expensive so the people can feel good about it, so they can behave on the plane. But at the same time, these air hostesses are being asked to sell potato chips, little meals up there. I mean, it is really not a glamorous job anymore.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of women are in this profession, of course, and we've heard, even with recent data, that women are still only earning 70 cents on the dollar of what a man makes. And even when you take all that into account, motherhood and everything else, there's still 9.2 cents of that gap that is not accounted for. That just simply has to do with the injustice and the unfairness in our industry. Now, the New York Times printed a great article about women seeking raises. And the idea is that a lot of times women, first of all, don't ask for raises. They're hoping that someone will notice their great performance and
just
reward them.
Just like they do it at home. They hope the husbands understand.
But sometimes you got to ask for it, right? But how you ask for it matters. And part of the point here is that often when men do ask for raises, that is considered okay, and women are seen as somehow less attractive by asking for some of the same things. So how you go about it matters. Don't sit around for someone to notice. Be prepared. Do your research, right? Don't just ask your girlfriends how much they make. They may also be underpaid, right? You need to go online and figure out what's going on in your industry. And there's some great websites that can help you. Payscale.com, salary.com.